It's peacock o'clock time. It's been a while. Hello, this is part 3 of living kidney donation. So, wrote down notes. This video is pre-op surgery, a little bit of the first day after surgery, or a little bit after surgery, same day. Okay, so a week before surgery was pre-op. They took 10 blood vials, excuse me, urine sample, then there was a lunch break to wait for the results, and then we visited with, I think, 3 different people. Oh shoot, I forgot, hold on one second. I'm quickly doing this while I have a moment, and I didn't organize as much as I meant to. Okay, so pre-op things. Okay, that's not important. That's not totally important. Okay, they gave me some paperwork stuff. So I think it was a surgeon that I saw first. I can't remember. He gave me things like between now and surgery. So I can't have, I couldn't have ibuprofen. I think I was allowed Tylenol. If I had minor aches and pains, I could have Tylenol. But between then and surgery, I couldn't have any medicine. I was allowed to take my allergy medicine stuff, but I had to quit taking it like a day before, or maybe it was just the day of. Either way, I couldn't have it for surgery at least. And then all sorts of prescriptions and stuff I can't take over the counter now, or prescriptions I can't take. So a list of stuff. The main one is like Advil, Motrin, ibuprofen, aspirin stuff. And some people will say you can take some if you only take a little bit in your lifetime. So we'll see how that goes. And then prescriptions are, I've never really had to have a lot of prescriptions, but most things have an alternative. So not super worried about that. So then the night before surgery, I could eat a light dinner at about 5, like soup or a salad, and then I can drink till 12 midnight. But he gave me this magnesium drink. So even watered down, it tasted like I was eating Kool-Aid cherry powder. I didn't keep the bottle to show you, but if you've ever had a kid before, it's like the drink that they have you drink for the diabetes test. So, and that was absolutely terrible. What that does is it cleans out your system. I finished it by 7. It was excruciating because it was so much liquid and I was so full. But it didn't kick in until like 11. And they didn't tell me when my appointment was until like 5 p.m. before the day before surgery. So my check-in was at 5:15 a.m. So the magnesium stuff didn't kick in until 11. So I didn't really fall asleep because it kept working till like the time I got there. So That was fun, to be emptied out a lot. Not really. But of course I wasn't supposed to eat day of surgery. And I love it so much. There's one line: try to get a good night's sleep. If you're going to give me something the night before to clear up my system, and then I've got to be there early in the morning, that's not happening. It's not happening. So gave me that stuff. And then a PA, which I don't know what that stands for, but there's someone that helps the surgeon, I think. She came in. She was super awesome. Talks really fast, but was very kind and relatable. She gave me another sheet. Excuse me. I burp a lot post-surgery right now, so heads up for the next video. That's a little sneak peek. So it said just info about surgery, like I will average stay 2 to 4 days. They'll initially give me IV fluids, anti-nausea meds, pain meds, through IV and stuff. I'll have daily lab checks, blood counts, etc. And kind of like my goals to get discharged. Things that need to be checked off before they allow me to leave. Like having to stay hydrated orally, bowel function or passing gas, good pain control with oral meds, stable kidney function, and my incision healing appropriately. And then like my main goal is trying to walk so much in a day because that will decrease things like pneumonia, better bowel function, and decrease my chances of blood clots. So, and then I would have a catheter and stuff like that. I don't know how well you can see this picture, but that's the little incision that they do, and then the 2 little dots on the side. The surgery would take approximately 2 to 4 hours. And kind of their procedure, which I'm not going to explain all of this to you because I feel like I've already explained things like this to you. You get a lot of repeated information, which isn't necessarily bad because you get so much information all the time. You're granted to forget something. So, I got all that info. One more person met with me. She was my coordinator person. She kind of gave me like a checklist of, I'll get 2 phone calls, 1 to pre-register, and a pre-screening call, and then things that need to be done before surgery, arrange for a ride home, which sometimes you don't really think about, but you're going to need a ride there probably and a ride home. Complete a health history form. The surgeon will call to tell you what time to arrive. Day of surgery, no food or drink. This also includes before surgery, the night before surgery. Like, no ice chips, breath mints, gum. I was like, what? No gum? So, not a big deal, but I didn't do it. They want you to shower with antibacterial soap the night before, or the day of, which is interesting. I get it, but I wouldn't have thought about that. Leave all your jewelry at home or medications, except an inhaler if you need that. Bring documentation and where to check in with a handy-dandy map. Just a reminder, my procedure was done at the Intermountain Medical Center in Murray, Utah. So obviously every doctor and hospital are going to be slightly different. So, day of surgery, my mom took me in and I signed in around 5:15, waited to be called back, and they prep you for surgery. So, take a urine sample from you, blood, hook you up to IVs, and we waited in this little room for a little while till they wheeled me back. So I had some time to watch TV for a bit because it took a little bit for everything. When they wheeled me back, my mom followed and they pointed her to the waiting area. And like the movies, I didn't think this was a real thing. There are really notches in the hallways, in the walls, where they wheel you and leave you all by yourself. At least in this hospital. And you can see other patients in notches of the walls, and doctors and nurses like washing their hands and going in and out OR rooms. It's freezing up there. And which they tell you and they let you know if you need more blankets. But it's freezing and you're like alone without being alone. You don't have your phone, nobody's holding your hand while you wait. But you eventually go in, or you just sit and wait and observe, I guess. And you are always asked, like no matter where you wheel you, whatever new person you're talking to, they ask you similar questions like your name, your birth date, what are you here for, so we're all on the same page. Makes sense. Gets a little annoying after a while though. One of the first persons I saw, I think, one person came, put on these boots that stop blood clots from forming in my legs. I don't know why they're called boots, because they don't go on your feet. They're just on your shin area, calf, shin area. And then they hook you up to that stuff. An anesthesiologist comes to talk to you about the things that you might get. I got a T-block, which is some kind of pain thing that after 24 hours it wears off, so sometimes you're hit with pain after. Another sneak peek. I didn't really get that. I got the T-block. I just didn't get that all of a sudden I'm in so much pain. So, after 24 hours anyways, I didn't. He talks to me about what he does, and then the surgeon came real quick at one point. He has to like sign my stomach and say what side we're taking out so that that's on the same page. His signature is still there. I've tried to scrub it off. It's still there. Let's see. Then they wheeled me in the OR around 7:30-ish, give or take. Between 7:30 and 8 probably. I swear that I was told I would be out before they put me into the OR. So I wasn't super excited about that. I didn't want to see where I would be. I don't know why, but that bothered me. It wasn't as like movie crazy scary as I thought it would be. It was a lot brighter in there than I thought. But they put me in. I moved to the table from the wheel thing I was in, put my arm out. I think they gave me a shot through my IV because I vaguely remember feeling something. They put a mask on me. He just told me to relax and breathe. Normally they tell you to like count down from 10 or 100 or something. He didn't like warn me at all that this was the stuff that was going to put me out. So like until later, I didn't realize that I actually was out after a couple breaths. I just remember thinking they need something on the walls or the ceilings for you to look at while you're just chilling around. Waking up. So they started the surgery about 8:30 because they kept my mom up to date. And I remember dreaming a bit at one point. they say you don't dream, so that must have been when I was waking up from after the procedure. And then all of a sudden, tons of people were around me saying and moving around, saying things like, Holly, you're starting to wake up now, it's okay, you're probably going to be in pain, let us know your pain number so we can try to get that under control. And I do like vaguely remember being like, oh, like being hurting, because I didn't hurt when I went in. And just being able to open up one side because I just wanted to just still sleep. And at the same time, someone else was like, Holly, have you had meningitis before? And I'm like, what? No. All of my replies were really slow replies. And then I heard them call my mom since I was drugged to get another answer. And she said no. For some reason, somehow, someone messed up some paperwork and put that I had had meningitis, but I have not. And that would have, I'm pretty sure, ruined the whole kidney process. But it had already been done, so... excuse me. Then, let's see, around 11:15, they were getting ready to move me to my final recovery room. So, 2.5 hours-ish between surgery and waking up and moving. It almost felt like they were surprised I was waking up as quickly as I was, but it could have been just in all the commotion of things. Then they wheeled me to recovery room, which I don't totally remember. But I do remember being in the recovery room and so many different people coming in, asking me questions, me being so sleepy and not totally there. Which is like the worst time to ask somebody questions. I'm like, can you just let me sleep a little bit more before you ask me more questions or do more to me? But I think that's typical and that's normal. I had a catheter in, IV, an oxygen, the compression boot, ankle things, a brace around my incision, the finger monitor clip, a pain button. If I was in pain and I needed more meds, I could just press a button. And that's the gist about surgery. The rest I'm going to do from recovery on, if that makes sense. I'm going to do 100% recovery from like beginning till the like 6 to 8 weeks they talk about recovery takes. So, anyways, I will also link a picture, but this is my incision and stuff after. Today is Monday. I had surgery Wednesday, so a couple of days old. So warning, I'm going to show you that, but I will also post a picture of about the same day that I had surgery. So this is the brace that they put on you that you're supposed to keep on you. So that's the main incision. It's really yellow right now. And bruised, and then this one and this one are the holes that they put in. There's his signature in the left. So not terrible, still gross, but we'll see what that looks like later. Goodbye.